Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? A quick voice check. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining in. We'll start today's session on order flow on of how to read an order flow chart in a bit. Just waiting for some more guys to join in, and we'll start the session soon. So today's session is about order flow. It's a continuation of what Shai had started a couple of weeks before. We had a three-part series where he explained why we use order flow, what are the benefits of order flow, and how we read an order flow chart uh, on the V-Trender chart section. So firstly, why do we need an order flow chart? Order flow chart, to keep it very simple, order flow chart is showing us demand and supply, the difference or the relation between the demand and supply. So that is what the auction process is all about. The auction probes higher till it finds sellers, and then it probes lower till it finds buyers. So that is the job of the auction. And order flow helps us to check how good the auction is progressing at every stage. So what why we use order flow is we look at the buy side and the sell side, and we have these concepts which we have defined in the VTrender charts. We have these signals which we follow, and accordingly we look to take trades. Because we are derivative traders, we look to trade in the shorter time frame. So we trade both sides. So how we make use of the order flow is what I would try to explain, and this I will do it with the latest example. So the chart you have on screen is today's 30-minute Nifty futures order flow chart. So before, what, as I said, we look for the relation between supply and demand using an order flow chart. Why it is better than an mere candlestick chart is because we get lot of other information from order flow. And what is that information? I'll just quickly uh, explain that to you. So coming to the order flow charts, the order flow numbers, we have certain rules. We have certain situations where we we have the market moving very fast. So at, on certain days and in certain times of a day, we have the auction moving very fast, where all orders are filling very fast. And in case you are not ready, or if you don't enter into the market at the right time, there's a very good chance that it runs away from you. So why does that happen? That is happening because we have limit orders and we have market orders. Limit orders are orders which are put in the system, and people have just selected the level they want to enter and they put their order there and they sit back. Market orders are orders which are being executed in live market because something is changed in the market. So everyone wants to get into the market as early as possible. So they are trying to get into the market at whatever price they can get into. So those are the market orders. Obviously, when you have lot of market orders happening, the auction would move faster and the volumes also would be on the higher side. And in limit orders, the volume will be slow, the volume will be less, and the auction would be a slower, because guys are not, it is mostly, you can say it is mostly locals who are waiting or who are trading of low volumes, and they wait for the price to come to their level or just sit back and see what is happening. So we can see both of them. We can identify both of them using order flow, because once you have a signal, we have something called as the IB, initiative buying, initiative selling, responsive buying, and responsive selling. So we have defined when we are getting initiative signals, initiative buy or initiative sell, we know that the market is wanting to move in one direction. So which is where we look to go long when we get IB plus IB on the shorter time frame. Shorter time frame is the 3-minute time frame. We use market profile to understand the structure. So 30-minute is our base time frame where we watch the 30 minutes, but for execution we use the 3-minute. So right now what you have on the screen is the 30-minute Nifty futures order flow chart of today. So as you can see, I'll just take my mouse. This is the first period, the A period from 9:15 to 9:45, and you can see we have formed a red candle. Like we have opened around the highs and we have closed around the lows. So although we don't have an IS signal on this bar, but it is telling us that there is not much of demand which is coming, at least in this bar. We have a zero at the top, which is showing the buy side is not getting any much of volumes, and the POC is right at top, which is an RS, responsive selling pattern. And we have closed at the lows, so the VWAP of this A period bar, which is a 21485, becomes an important reference for us. Although in the cot we have, in the order flow charts, we have this very important table which gives you the volume, it gives you the POC of the bar, and it gives you the cot, which is the commitment of traders, and the open interest as well as the change of open interest compared to the previous day. So in this, we have seen the cot is slightly green. So it does show us that there is some demand which is coming in. And I will come back to what has happened before this, but I'm talking about only today's chart. And then we will get back to how the low we made today, which was 21415, had an important reference which was shown on 15th of December in the order flow chart. So this is how we carry forward references and we keep them until they get negated. So as you can see, we have formed this red bar and we have formed a lower low in the B period, wherein the cot again is showing us green. So we are not getting we have definitely seeing demand which is coming in here. So as we say, the auction is going down to in search of buyers and that demand is coming here. But till this IB gets over the initial balance, we are not having any long trades as such. But at the same time, we are not too bearish because we are seeing some greens coming in. So what happens in the C period is we get back above the VWAP of the day and we go on to tag this VWAP of the A period. So this is definitely a bullish sign because we have seen a positive cot developing and then we have got above the highs of B, negating the initiative A period tail which we had, and we almost tagged this VWAP of A. So this is showing us that the demand is coming back. Okay. I think the chart should be better now. I've zoomed in completely. So here we can see in the C period that things have changed, and I will come back to what this 21415 was, because we Shai had also mentioned in the room that that is the support. So I'll show you in order flow chart what happened on 15th of December and how we uh, had that level already marked with us. So when we are getting a low right here in the IB, so in the market profile, the next setup is if we extend this IBL on an IS. So which did not happen. In fact, we got this good 30-minute bar on the in the C side, but C side is something we don't trade. So we just look for the D to give further confirmation. And you can see it remained above the VWAP of the day, the D, and then the E made a extension. So when we are seeing this in order flow, this is the 30-minute order flow. So when we see this in the order flow, we are sure that now the PLR, the path of least resistance, is to the upside. And what will be our reference? Our reference will be the VWAP of the day and the VWAP of this green bar in the C period, which was 21453. So we look for going on the upside, and we have this nice bar in the G, which was a green bar closing at the high. The POC is right in the middle. So this is another good uh, reference for us to remain on the long side. So here we hit this 21564, which was the VPOC from 15th of December. So this is one level where you would expect to see profit booking, and which came in very nicely, and we can see good reds over here and we can see the red bar. So this we can easily understand that this is profit booking and not some initiative selling which is coming in. So, and we know till the time the VWAP of the day is holding, the PLR will remain to the upside. We only need to see how the order flow proceeds from there. So then we have this bar again in the I period where we can see the zeros in on the sell side. So this is telling us that the auction is still not done on the upside. So now you can see this J and K TPOs. Here you can see lot of reds which have been added. This POC on the J has shifted right to the top. This is an RS. And you can also see the COT which is turning red. You have a minus 2000 red which is the biggest of the day. And in the K period, although we made new highs, we again got a RS POC and we have a trifecta of reds on the 30 minutes, which is clearly telling you with again a zero at the top on the buy side, which is telling us to exit our longs. So again, the cart is on the red, and then we know that we have to book out. So from there, we got a very good retracement down to VWAP. But as I said, the VWAP of the day was important, and we held that into the close. So this is a very quick view of what happened today. But as I said, let me get back to from where it started and how we take the order flow references. So right now what you have on the left side is the market profile chart of 12th of December. And on the right side is the 30-minute order flow chart. We can view these charts in the same window. We have this option on the right panel where you can uh, turn the window into a two window mode or even a four window mode. If you are using a bigger screen, you can even have four charts on the screen at a time. So what we can see on the 12th, the market profile chart, we can see we've got we opened at all-time high. This was the all-time high on 12th, 21130 in Nifty futures. And we did not get any fresh demand. So we kind of made a slow probe lower, but in the order flow, it was not showing any initiative selling. It was just like we are in a narrow range and the auction was trying to decide what it needs to do. But the only thing which it was showing was it remained below the POC of that day, which was at this level 21110. So that was telling us that the demand is missing. So the auction may probe lower to find fresh demand. So what happened in the day was the G period, the H period made a new low. We made a range extension. We had a C side, typical C side, which uh, gave a bounce back to the VWAP and we got rejected at the POC of the day. And we can see here in the order flow, the 30-minute order flow is showing us there is no volumes on the buy side. We are getting higher volumes on the sell side. So the POC of that day, which was this B period bar, we had the highest volumes here. So this was rejecting. So once this was done, we made a fresh range extension in the H period. So even here, this was more like an RB bar, but the uh, auction was definitely probing lower. And on the higher time frame on the left side, you can see we were in a multi-day balance. You can see the value was overlapping on from the 6th of December till even the 12th. So it was getting back into the previous value. So what happened after the hedge is in the K period, we give lot of importance to the K period in market profile. So in the K period, you can see we got the first IS bar on 30 minutes for the December series. This is the first IS bar for the December series. And Shahid even mentioned this in the trading room, as well as in the session we had on order flow. So this was an IS bar. So here things had changed. So this bar made us to sit back and stop looking at that buy a dip which we were doing all through the December series. So the order flow showed up a IS, which means the sellers were slightly getting more dominant than the buyers for the first time in the series. So what would our reference be on this? The high of this order flow bar, which is a 21064, and the POC of this bar, which is a 21040. So as you can see, we made a high right at 21040 in the next bar, and we went on to make a new low for the day at 2991. So what happened the next day? I will shift the auction to the 13th of September. So right now, using through the order flow on the 30 minutes, we know that now we are looking to sell this market unless it takes out this 21065. So the next day we opened at 21044, but immediately we went below this reference of 21040 and started probing lower. We even made new lows for the week and made this low of, we remained below VWAP. The order flow was not giving any buy signal. Then we had this next IS bar just below the G period. This was the E, I think. In the E period, I'll just pull up the, yeah, the E period had this big IS bar. We had good red caught, lot of selling which was seen, and it was below VWAP. So this had become our reference. It shifted. We had trailed our reference on 21064 to this 20967 now. So this would be our reference to remain short. But what happened subsequently is we had one VPOC. You can see in the market profile chart, we had a VPOC at 20896. And this market stopped right there. We made a RB here in the G period. We made a lower low, but it was a marginal lower low, 2900 and 2902. So this is a sign which the market profile is also showing as exhaustion. And the order flow, we got an RB. We got a nice RB in this. The POC shifted to the lows on this bar. And the very next bar, we got a IB. So when we get this IB, it is negating the previous signal. And also, as Shai has mentioned, any signal we get, we have that formula of into 10. So if we are looking at a 30-minute chart, if we are getting a signal at 11:15, this is valid for the next 10 30-minute bars. So unless it is cancelled by a opposite bar. So what we had here in the K period remained true for the next 10 bars, and then because we got this new IS bar, we revised our reference to this high. But this was the change of direction. So once we get this RB plus IB on a 30-minute bar, now we are looking to go long. Now the structure has changed, and now market has got good demand, and it is confirmed using order flow that the trend is changed to the upside. So as was with the IS bars, the IB bars low would be our reference. This is 29 to 1, and the VWAP of this RB bar also will be an important reference taking going forward. So after this, we went on to probe higher. We made new highs for the day into the close. So this was a close in imbalance, the 13th of September, and this is where the scene changed. So we were definitely looking for longs, and in fact, we were. It was also a good idea to carry longs. So I'll just zoom in the market profile chart, and as I was explaining, we were forming a larger time frame composite. So if you see this, so we formed a balance on over the last 6 days, and why we are looking, this balance is looking to move away because it has given a neutral extreme and it is closed in an imbalance on the 13th. So what happened on 14th was we opened with a gap up, and it was not at all surprising considering how the amount of buying which we had seen the previous day into the close. And even on this day, the 14th of December, I'll just get the chart so that we have, and I'll zoom in the 14th of December profile. So here you can see in the market profile chart, we have this A period tail. So A period tail means initiative activity, and we have already had a big gap up from the previous close. So whenever we have a gap up, most of the time we see profit booking, but that was not the case on this day because we saw greens continuing. You can see the caught was a big 6696 green. So definitely this was after the results, and so we were bullish, and so we had a gap up and plus fresh buying. So what it is showing us is the buyers were still there, and this reference, although this is not an IB bar, we have good greens, and this POC 21210 would be our trailing level for longs if we have carried from the previous day. So this is not a signal to go long fresh, but we know this is the level. And with this level in mind, if we follow the 3-minute order flow chart, we would want to go long if we are seeing a new IB in a 3-minute order flow. That is what we do in the room. So here you can see in the IB, this was a profit booking signal because we have formed a RS, we have got zeros here. So, and it has been a big run. We have ran from almost 20,900 to 21282. So this level was profit booking. So with the auction was stuck between this 21210 and 21282. So I'll just proceed further, and what happened on that day. So keep a eye on the IBs we are having. So the G period on that day was a silent one. It didn't do much, but the H period made a range extension. The H period made a range extension, and then it was followed by a fresh IB signal in the I. So the I gave a breakout, and this was a very important breakout because this had huge volumes. You can see this 21,595 contracts, which is huge on a for a 30-minute chart. In fact, even in the initial 30 minutes, which is the highest volumes, the A period, we get those kind of volumes. So here you can see this becomes our reference. 21281 would be our stop loss for holding longs, and this was also a fresh long signal because this is a IB. So with this as a stop loss, we can enter into this long position. And as we saw, we closed once again in an imbalance on that day. We closed right at the highs, and we opened higher on the 15th. But what happened on 15th is, as expected, once we have a gap up, we can expect some profit booking to come in. So the profit booking came in on the 15th, and we saw the zeros on the buy side at the highs, after which it made a probe lower, and you can see where it is taking support. It is taking support right at the POC of the closing bar of 14th. So which means these buyers are holding the auction. So in fact, we made a typical seaside extension, and then again we made a dip in the D, and once again it stalled right at that level. So here we got an RB, and still the path of least resistance was to the upside, and then we got this fresh IB signal at this level. So why I'm showing you this order flow chart is to show you how we got the 21415 reference from this day. So as you can see, the G period was the first one after C, which made a range extension. And if you see the G period bar, we have the POC at 21420 and the VWAP as 21414. So these POC and VWAP in an order flow chart, especially on the 30-minute time frame, gives you important clues, especially the initiative ones. So as you can see, the next bar made a low right at the 21415. So when we got this IB in the next, because this IB was not on huge volumes, like the previous IB we saw had 22,000 contracts, this was on 8,000 contracts. Nonetheless, this is still an IB. This is still giving you a signal to go long, and it is giving you a fresh reference to remain long. So this 21421 along with this VWAP of 21414 would be our reference to remain long. And what happened was we saw one of the biggest spikes ever in Nifty, which was more almost from 21465 to 21590, and this happened in the L and M period. So even here you can see you have a huge volume of 28,200 contracts. But if you see caught, you can easily make out that there is huge profit booking also, which is coming in. Minus 9,000 caught is the highest number which we have seen, I think, for this series in a 30-minute bar. So it is clearly, order flow is clearly showing you that although you are long, you have to start booking your positions and trailing your stop loss. So this POC and VWAP of this IB bar would be our reference 524 and 532. And here, the M period, it was very clear that lot of profit booking is happening because the POC, the day's POC also shifted to the top at 5121564. So this is what happened on the Friday. We closed at the highs, but we saw the POC shifting to the top. You can see on the right side, the market profile chart, we have this pink line which is shifted to the top, which is telling us that the profit booking is done. So how, in conjunction with the order flow and market profile, we can easily see when we have to go long, when we have to take a fresh long, when we have to be careful, and when we have to book our positions. So what happened yesterday? Yesterday was the inside bar. We remained in the L period range, the spike singles all day. So as you can see in the order flow 30 minutes, there was not much of. You can see this A period bar. It has zeros at the lows and zero at the top. So it was very clearly telling that this only locals are in this market. And what we did yesterday was we remained in this A period range all day. We tried to go higher in this TPO, in the eTPO, which got rejected. And then we tried to go lower in the, not lower, we made a pullback low here at 470, which again did not get much of a this thing. And we went on to make new lows into the close. It was a very small mini spike, you can say. So it was more or less an normal day and a nice Gaussian profile. And after this, what happened today was, which I've already explained, that how we moved lower, we probed lower, we got demand, and then we took support right at that 4121, 415 level. So we have already also seen from where we started this trend up and how we keep trailing our signals. So the same thing, what I am showing you now is on the option chart. So we have seen the order flow chart of Nifty futures, but what most of us trade in options, and even in the trading room, we do option trades. So this 21300 CE was what we were looking at today. And we also traded this. So what I'll do is I'll take out this market profile chart and have the 30-minute order flow chart on the left and the 3-minute order flow chart on the right, so that I can show you how we can take trades based on these two combinations. Give me a minute, guys. It's just taking a bit long to load the chart. Yeah. So on the right side, the 30-minute order flow chart of the call option, the 300 call option is still visible. And we have this RBPOC at 125, which was made in the B period today. So, and the A period reference, what this POC of 178 and the VWAP at 168. So these two were our references from from the morning hour in that call. So once we saw that our support of 21415 is holding in Nifty futures, we were looking for opportunities to enter this call. So how we can make use of the 3-minute order flow chart with along with the 30-minute references is what I want to show you, and the trades which we had taken. No, the charts are pretty fast. I think it is to do with my internet today, because we have lot of order flow charts running all through the day in live markets. So I'll just do a quick refresh. Okay, I'll just come back to that 21,300 call in a bit. And before that, I would quickly uh, explain what happened with Bank Nifty. We saw the Nifty futures chart. So I'll explain what happened with the Bank Nifty futures also, and how we use market profile and order flow of 30 minutes to trade that also, and to understand what was happening. So you can see the left side, you have the market profile chart. We have a nice 3-day balance in Bank Nifty before today. So today in the morning, we made an attempt to move away from this 3-day balance, because we had an A period selling tail and we made a lower low in the B. So the low of B, you can see it stalled exactly at this singles of this composite. So in the order flow, you can see there was no demand at the open. We have zeros on the buy side, and which is why we went down looking for demand. And again, here we have zeros on the sell side in the A period. So that is giving you an indication that the supply is kind of drying up. And the B period made it very clear that you have got some good demand which is coming back. We have these greens at the lows, 780 buyer at the lows. The POC has shifted right to the bottom. And this is exactly at this reference of the buying tail of this composite, 47780. So this was giving us that confirmation that the demand is coming back in Bank Nifty. After which, what happened? The C and the D period made highs right at this value area low. In market profile, we have something called the 80% rule. So when the market is entering a previously well balanced value area, there is a 80% chance that it will traverse through the entire value area. So here the C period made an attempt. C period is also called as Dhoka period in our room. So we don't trust the C period that much. So we wanted a confirmation after C period above this 47905 to trade this 80% rule. Order flow had already showed us this RB, but we wanted a IB or volumes to buying to take out this level 47905. So which happened in the E period, where we made this extension handle, we made a higher high also. So in the order flow, it was very clear once we made this high, VWAP would be our reference, and this POC of the C side bar 47840 could be our level to hold long positions. And as we can see, this VWAP of the E period bar is a good reference, 47946. Although the POC is shifted to the top, it is more of an RS here. We would want to have this VWAP as our reference to for the Bank Nifty to continue this 80% rule to 48125. So we can see how it went on to make a high here, though it did not touch that 48125. We were still on the long side in Bank Nifty, expecting that to hit. And here you can see in the H period, when we hit that, exactly there we got a 3000 seller. So this is where the order flow is confirming what the market profile wants to is already told us. So this is profit booking, and we have completed the 80% rule, and with this the POC also shifts to the top. So this was our signal to book out or cut the longs and trail to cost, because this reference was still holding. We were still about days VWAP, so we would still want to see more upside. And one more important reference here was this composite POC of 48022, which was holding in this dip. The dip we made in the G, the low was 48026, and the dip we made in the I was 48035. So this was an RB bar with a trifecta of greens in order flow. So this is telling us that the upside is still not done, and which is exactly what happened in the next period, where we made this new highs. 48234 was a reference in Bank Nifty. It was a POC from 15th of December. So, and you can also see this yellow line which was coming exactly from that day. If I take this chart back to the 15th of December, we can easily make out, see, this was a profit booking bar from 15th of December, where we made that all-time high of 48375. So this had shown supply. It was more a responsive selling, but it had to be taken out for more upside. And the reason the order flow is showing us zeros over there right at that level, so it is telling us that it, the upside for the day at least is done. So this is a very important signal for us to make a note and book our positions. So you can see how quickly the auction turned down. It went on to break below these 4820 level, and also went and tested the VWAP. And you can see the low it has made. As we were discussing, this VWAP is important. Even going forward for tomorrow, this would still be our reference on the downside. And if this is holding, we would want the auction to take off this VWAP, and then the obviously we have got an IS bar here, so we want to see fresh demand at this level before we go take a long position in Bank Nifty. Also, as mentioned, you can see today's range was mostly in the previous composite, so it has smoothened up this profile. So we have the weekly settlement tomorrow in Bank Nifty. So this is what we have for the settlement. We have a nice well balanced profile, and we have closed right in the middle, the POC of 48000. So Bank Nifty could be an interesting settlement tomorrow. But yes, we will need the help of order flow to see what it tells us. Okay, so we're I'm sorry, guys, but the chart is still not loading. But I would just give an example of what we do. Just like we get the IB levels in the 30-minute order flow, we make the same reference on the option chart, and then on the 3-minute order flow, we look for new IB signals. When we get a new IB in an already well-defined uptrend, we will go long in that, and we will take the lows of that particular IB which has come on the 3-minute as the stop loss. And then we'll keep doing that as and when the auction keeps giving us fresh signals on the upside. And it is the same on the downside when we are looking at ISS in the Nifty order flow. Then we will look at the put side trades. So we will look for IB signals in the put option. So I'm not sure why it's not loading, because I had them on till now. Anyways, but I hope it clears up how we use the order flow chart in sync with the market profile chart. And as I explained, we have the option of watching both together in a same screen. You can have the 30-minute order flow on the left, the 3-minute on the right, or you can have the market profile on the left and the order flow on the right. So whichever suits you best, you can have those those charts open, and then the VWAP and the POC of the bars which are given at the bottom bar information bar are levels which you need to make note of, especially of the initiative bars. So that's it for today from my side. If there are any questions, you can let me know. I would like to answer them before we can wind up. Yes, definitely. In the next session, I'll have that the 30-minute and 3-minute, and we can also show you the latest example, because I think we plan to have it on a Friday, so we can take the Friday's example. Because I wanted to show today's example and using the 30-minute and the 3-minute, we can do that because these things we follow on a daily basis, so we will get opportunities on each signal. Any questions, guys? Yes, as I already mentioned that yes, in the Friday session we will take up this and see in market profile as well as in order flow we look at how the market is closed, whether it's closed in a balance or an imbalance. If it is closed in an imbalance, we can expect the next open to continue in that direction. We, as I said, we are shorter time frame traders, so we look for 30-minute and 3-minute. So any signal on 30 minutes, it will be valid for the next 10 bars, that is for the next 3 hours, and the 3-minute would be valid for the next 30 minutes. So depending on what kind of a time frame trader you are, you can accordingly take those signals. And we definitely carry forward the references, because I showed you how on 12th December we got that signal of the reversal, and those levels of 29 to 1 still hold. And after that we got that new reference of 21821, which will also be an important reference. 21281, sorry. And guys who are new to order flow, you can go through our website. We have lot of information. You have the link on the window right now. What is order flow? If you are new to order flow, you can start here to read the basics and then uh, take it upwards. Any more queries, guys? So I think that is it for today. Thank you all for joining in. And in case you have any queries, you can mail us to charts@weetender.com or support@weetender.com. You can also ping us on Twitter. We'll be happy to answer your queries. So once you have the order flow, we use a combination of market profile and order flow. So in order flow, once you know this entry and the stop loss, automatically 1:1 will become your first target. And market profile gives us some important levels which like the VPOCs, which have the POCs which have not been tagged, so those become our targets. So for example, in bank Nifty, I showed you on the order flow chart that which is still there on the screen, this 48232 was an probable target. So this was our objective when we were trading long into the close. And the moment we saw RS forming here, we knew we had to book out longs. Yes, order flow size is same. We keep it a 2 for 3 minutes for bank Nifty, 1 for Nifty futures. And for 30 minutes, we have it as 2 for Nifty futures and 4 for bank Nifty futures. Fine, guys. I think That's it for today, and hope you like this session and it was useful and a learning thing for you. And for more, you can definitely log on to our website or ping us on through via email or on Twitter. My Twitter ID is at Uttam Goel, so you can also DM me, and I'll be happy to answer you. Thank you guys for listening in. Winding up for now.